Welcome to World Epic History. From ancient battlefields to modern inspiration, witness the legendary Spartans. Their unwavering courage, iron discipline, and ultimate sacrifice at Thermopylae forged a timeless legacy. A story of unity, resilience, and the power of human will. World Epic History, where legends live on. The year is 480 BCE. The mighty Persian Empire, under the command of King Xerxes, spanned half the known world, a colossal military machine stretching from the Nile to India. Yet its expansion was met by an improbable defiance: the small, fiercely independent Greek city-states. Once divided, these states now faced a common enemy, forced to unite against the overwhelming Persian tide. The stage was set for an epic stand. Leading the defense were the Spartans, soldiers whose name was synonymous with courage and absolute discipline. As Xerxes' massive army marched west, they knew their destiny awaited at a narrow mountain pass. The crucible of freedom, the Battle of Thermopylae, was about to begin. As the Persian threat escalated, the defense of Greece fell to Sparta's king Leonidas. A man renowned for his iron will and unmatched courage, Leonidas chose the perfect bottleneck, the narrow pass of Thermopylae. Leading a dedicated force of only 300 Spartans, he marched into the face of Xerxes' enormous army. Flanked by towering cliffs and the sea, the terrain was their greatest ally. Though they were catastrophically outnumbered, Leonidas and his men knew their purpose transcended mere defense. Their stand was not just for Greece, but a desperate act intended to ignite the flame of resistance across the Hellenic world. With unwavering resolve, King Leonidas vowed to make the ultimate sacrifice. With Leonidas and his warriors holding the narrow choke point, the Persian forces began their massive assembly just outside the pass. The sheer size of King Xerxes' army was truly staggering. Historical estimates range wildly, suggesting figures from 100,000 to well over 1,000,000 soldiers. This immense force was a juggernaut of the ancient world, comprising not just Persians, but also a kaleidoscope of mercenaries and conquered peoples drawn from across their vast empire. Yet, for all their overwhelming numbers, the Persians were about to meet an adversary unlike any they had ever encountered. The unmatched discipline and valor of the Spartans were poised to prove one timeless truth: that numbers alone would never be enough to guarantee victory. The silence was shattered as the first wave of Persian forces surged forward, charging headlong into the narrow pass. However, what seemed like an advantage for the attackers quickly turned into a deadly trap. The constricted terrain, flanked by towering cliffs, rendered Xerxes' overwhelming numbers useless, funneling his soldiers into a chaotic bottleneck. There, the disciplined Spartan phalanx stood firm, an unbreakable wall of bronze and courage. Each warrior, perfectly synchronized, protected his comrade, their long spears thrusting with lethal precision. Wave after wave of Persian soldiers were brutally repelled, their advance dissolving into disarray. The initial clash left no doubt. Xerxes' once unwavering confidence began to crack. From his elevated vantage point, King Xerxes watched in disbelief as his mighty army repeatedly failed to breach the Spartan line. His initial confidence rapidly eroded, replaced by a searing frustration. Wave after wave, his elite immortals and countless soldiers charged, only to be brutally repelled by the unyielding Greek defense. The narrow pass, a strategic advantage for the Spartans, now mocked the immense size of the Persian force. Xerxes' growing arrogance began to curdle into genuine concern, as the Spartans' unparalleled discipline and fearless resolve threatened to derail his entire grand campaign. He had gravely underestimated these warriors, a miscalculation that would prove costly for the seemingly invincible Persian king. Frustrated but unyielding, King Xerxes responded to the Spartan resilience by unleashing relentless waves of his vast army. He clung to the belief that sheer numbers would eventually crush the defiant few. All day long, the thunder of battle echoed through Thermopylae, as Persian soldiers, in endless succession, hurled themselves against the unbreakable Greek line. Leonidas, leading by fierce example, stood at the vanguard, his strength and skill cutting down adversaries. Yet, even amidst their awe-inspiring defense, the Spartans harbored a grim understanding. They knew this heroic stand, though magnificent, could not last forever. The Persians, with their limitless resources, would inevitably discover a path around the impregnable pass. As the heroic defense of Thermopylae reached its apex, a dark shadow of betrayal fell upon the Greeks. A local Greek man, Ephialtes, driven by greed, approached King Xerxes with a treacherous offer. A hidden mountain path, unknown to most, that would allow the vast Persian army to entirely bypass the Spartan position. For Leonidas and his warriors, this news was a devastating blow, turning their impenetrable stronghold into a death trap. Faced with inevitable encirclement, Leonidas made a profound choice. He dismissed most of his allied troops, choosing to remain with his 300 Spartans. Their fate was sealed, not in retreat and dishonor, but in an ultimate sacrifice that would forge their legend forever. With the grim realization of encirclement, King Leonidas made his ultimate decision: to fight to the last man. Along with his legendary 300 Spartans, a small, equally courageous contingent of Thespians refused to abandon their Greek comrades, joining them in this final, heroic defiance. Though the odds were beyond impossible, they stood firm, an unbreakable wall against the encroaching Persian tide. Leonidas, embodying the very soul of Sparta, faced his inevitable death with the ferocity of a lion. In his final, awe-inspiring moments, he would etch the Spartan ideal into history. A code of honor that declared, never retreat, never surrender. Their sacrifice, though tragic, would ignite a beacon of freedom for all of Greece. Amidst the relentless, overwhelming assault, the inevitable occurred. King Leonidas, the Lion of Sparta, was finally struck down. Yet even in this tragic death, his legend was not extinguished, it was forged. Though his body suffered desecration at the hands of the victorious Persians, the profound spirit of his sacrifice ignited an unquenchable flame of resistance across all of Greece. Leonidas would forever be remembered, not merely as a king, but as an eternal symbol of unyielding bravery and defiance. The valiant 300 had fallen, their final stand complete. But their extraordinary story, a testament to courage against impossible odds, would echo through the ages, inspiring generations for millennia to come. The silence that fell upon Thermopylae was not the silence of defeat, but the quiet of profound resolve. The tragic fall of Leonidas and his 300 Spartans did not signal the end. Instead, their sacrifice transformed into a powerful rallying cry for all the Hellenic world. News of their superhuman bravery, of men who chose death over dishonor, spread like wildfire across the fragmented Greek city-states. This legendary stand forged a new, unbreakable sense of unity. Though the vast Persian invasion continued its brutal march, the defiant spirit born in the narrow pass endured, swelling the ranks of resistance. Thermopylae had won the Greeks the one thing they needed most: time and unbreakable purpose. The final, decisive confrontation, the Battle of Plataea, now awaited. The debt of Thermopylae was finally settled on the fields of Plataea. In 479 BCE, the unified Greek forces, motivated by the immortal sacrifice of the 300 Spartans, stood ready for the decisive confrontation. The once invincible Persian army, already demoralized by the tactical failures and the continuous drain on their forces, met their match. The Greeks, fighting with a renewed purpose and singular banner, shattered the remaining strength of the invaders. The Persian threat was ultimately defeated, forced into a permanent retreat. The Greeks had triumphed, securing their independence. Yet, the lasting victory belonged to the legend of the 300 Spartans, whose shining example of courage and unity in the face of impossible odds would forever define the Hellenic spirit. The legend of the 300 Spartans, etched in blood and bronze, was immortalized in the very soul of Greek history. Their unparalleled courage, their unwavering discipline, and their unbreakable spirit at Thermopylae became the foundational cornerstone of the Hellenic ideal. The epic story of their defiant last stand resonated deeply. Swiftly recounted in stirring Greek literature, evocative poetry, and vibrant oral traditions passed down through generations. The Battle of Thermopylae transcended history. It became a timeless, powerful symbol. It forever represented the indomitable human spirit of resistance against overwhelming tyranny. The fierce struggle for freedom, and the sheer courage required to stand resolute against insurmountable odds. As centuries turned into millennia, the echoes of that narrow past did not fade. The Spartan stand continued to resonate in the hearts of freedom fighters and patriots across the globe. Centuries removed, Thermopylae's legend not only persists in the heart of Greece but has transcended borders, inspiring people across the globe. The unparalleled courage of the 300 Spartans is now celebrated in countless forms. In blockbuster films, evocative literature, gripping graphic novels, and vital modern discourse on heroism and defiance. Their timeless story serves as an eternal reminder that even when confronted with seemingly insurmountable odds, the human spirit can choose to fight not just for victory, but for honor, for unyielding courage, and for the fundamental principles of freedom. Beyond the battlefield, the Spartan warriors' profound dedication to excellence, their unwavering discipline, and their absolute commitment to duty carved an indelible mark upon the very bedrock of Western civilization. Their unique, austere way of life, forged in hardship and rigorous training, profoundly influenced the military strategies of countless future empires, emphasizing cohesion, resilience, and strategic sacrifice. Philosophically, the Spartan emphasis on personal discipline, civic virtue, and steadfast resolve became an enduring archetype for individual character. Ultimately, the Spartans demonstrated to the world a timeless truth: that true strength, honor, and freedom do not reside in mere numbers or material wealth, but in the unyielding determination, courage, and spirit of the individual. In our modern world, centuries after their last stand, the unparalleled courage of the Spartans continues to echo across continents and cultures. Their legend is not merely confined to ancient scrolls, but is vibrantly alive in towering monuments. Blockbuster films like 300, countless video games, and robust popular culture. The story of Thermopylae transcends the simple narrative of warriors in battle. It embodies timeless ideals of unwavering resolve, honor, and sacrifice. From gripping historical documentaries to epic cinematic retellings, the Battle of Thermopylae remains an enduring, powerful symbol of human resilience. A profound testament to the power of the individual spirit against seemingly insurmountable odds. The Spartan spirit, an essence of unwavering resolve, honor, and profound sacrifice, lives on vibrantly in the hearts and minds of people across the world. Their timeless example continues to shape our understanding of true leadership, defining strength not as dominance, but as resilience and moral fortitude. The saga of the 300 Spartans is far more than mere ancient history. It is a living, breathing testament, a timeless tale of what it truly means to rise above individual fear, to dedicate oneself to a cause far greater than personal gain, and to fight relentlessly for the foundational principles of honor, courage, and freedom for all. Centuries removed from its ancient dust, the Battle of Thermopylae remains one of the most profoundly referenced and studied engagements in military strategy across the globe. Its timeless lessons on the art of defensive warfare, the ingenious utilization of challenging terrain to neutralize numerical superiority, and the critical, enduring importance of unwavering troop morale continue to resonate powerfully with military commanders and strategists today. The profound legacy of the 300 Spartans is far from confined to the dusty pages of history books. It is a vibrant, living story that perpetually ignites the spirit of leaders, soldiers, and everyday people across continents. The universal lessons forged in the crucible of Thermopylae transcend time and culture. The unwavering courage to confront daunting adversity, the selfless sacrifice for the greater good of community or nation, and the intrinsic, unbreakable strength that blossoms from standing together in absolute unity. The Battle of Thermopylae transcended the mere definition of a military engagement. It was, and remains, a monumental, defining moment in the grand tapestry of human history. The 300 Spartans, with their unflinching bravery and unyielding resolve, demonstrated the profound, enduring power of the human will against impossible odds. Their ultimate sacrifice, their legendary valor, and their unshakable courage became the bedrock of Greek resistance. swiftly transforming into a timeless symbol for all who dared to believe in the potent power of unity and intrinsic strength against overwhelming tyranny.